part of our plan is what happens when we just get a anti-tax vote year after year after year after year. What happens then? Because we put it to the voters, right? Yeah. Yeah. So I think part of the responsibility is you elect your elected officials to make sure that we are doing the things that need to be done, even if they're not popular. And so we're asking for a little bit of room on that for a very specific cause, public safety, okay? And so you will get that opportunity to weigh in as well. So with that, last question, Mayor Ralph, if you could join me up here, please.
This isn't really a question, it's more of a statement, and it's, I'm looking at, elected officials and people in leadership, and actually my fellow neighbors, is that you see the best and you see the worst in us and in what's going on. And had officers come over, and when my neighbor passed away, because I failed, I'm a two-time failure in resuscitating neighbors, and each time the police officers were there, and obviously fire was there, and I just got to tell you, I couldn't do your job. I don't think I can do any of your jobs, but when we talk about budget issues, I do want to talk to you. We'll talk offline. I'll get a hold of you. But we talk about budget issues. Don't shortchange these people. Give them the mental health that they do need, whether they think they need it or not. Because I can tell you, if they're dealing with, I did just 2 instances, they're dealing with it every day. And guess what? They go home and they got to deal with it, their family. So whatever, there's a lot of budget issues. We all got them right now. But don't shortchange these men and women that are out there trying to protect us. I'm serious. It's not, it's a bad scenario. And I don't think that we're paying them enough, but I'm not going there. The issue is when you got to make a budget decision, don't cut mental health, don't cut the resources to these people, all right? So thank you. And Mayor, I know that, you know what, I want to tell you, you've been out in our neighborhood, and you're out in the community. This isn't about you, and that's not a negative slight on anybody here. It's just I know you're under a lot of pressure. Just don't let that be the budget item that goes.
Thank you, sir. I lied, we have one more. Mr. Wilson.
Again, it's kind of more of a comment. It's the same thing. My question was how much funding will it take? And I know that leads into what your ask is. I want to see that funding come through. I want to see that. I want to be confident in calling 911 because in the last week I could have called 4 times and I didn't because I didn't want to strain the resources. A drunk driver standing in front of Rotary watching people run the light, run the stop sign at Meeker and Second, just one after the other. And several times in the city I see things happen and I don't call because I don't want to strain the resources. I want to see you guys get the resources. And then my little question is, do you want us to call on that stuff?
Yes. The answer is yes. Call and be patient. I need the data. That's part of the discussion here. I need the data that shows a very clear picture of what the issue is. So please call and be very patient. You're going to make me break the last question rule. Go ahead.
In the past, there had been conversation about a new police station, and there was a vote that didn't pass. If you had the same amount of dollars, would you want to put those dollars into a new building or into staff and services, and why or why not?
Excellent question. The answer is, my request is both, but it's really easy for me. I know it's easy for my boss. I need officers and I need the support staff with them. The issue of us, we are way overcrowded. We've got a building we moved into in 1986-ish. There was a library that was supposed to be temporary.
I did my homework there when I was in elementary school.
Yeah. So it's a 52-year-old building, raised in 71.
Watch what you say about how old that is.
Yeah, I know. We're the same age. She's younger than me, just a little bit. For me, that's a problem that's on the horizon. The city is doing long-term planning for that. Give me the burden of overcrowded workspace because the priority is people to respond to your calls and people to do more than just respond to your calls. Okay? Mayor.
All right, I want to start by saying thank you for your comments. I can say this with 100% confidence. Your elected leadership in the city of Kent supports this police department 1,000%. That was true when it wasn't popular, and it's true now as people are starting to realize maybe it should be popular again. That hasn't changed. That commitment hasn't changed. And part of that is negotiating contracts with our officers to pay them what they should be paid. It is wellness, making sure they have access to those wellness things, because you're right, they see things that none of us have the capacity to process. Like, I see this much of it, and I cannot say thank you to these guys enough for what they do, because it's really tough work. That leads into sort of the next thing. We have done a lot of work in the past few years to get our house in order. We've availed ourselves of things like incentives for staffing, hiring. You've heard the numbers. We've hired up to what our budget is. We've also utilized technology. We have red light cameras. We have the school zone cameras. We have used all of the tools. Your city council has passed some pretty tough legislation. Again, when it was not popular, first city in the state to adopt our own drug laws. We've got camping ordinances, those kinds of things that other cities are now following suit. We've done the background work, all the things that we can to help make our community as safe as it can be. The piece that's missing is bodies. When you have all of your officers responding to a shooting or these kinds of really violent crimes, which we all want them to do, then they're not there. We don't have the people to respond to the other things. We've taken the state laws, the ones that we're supportive of, and the ones, Chief and I did a video back in 21, and we said, here's what passed, and